What's going on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, bringing you guys a nice little discussion topic for the future of the metagame. Not just talking about the ban list, not just talking about Salmon Strike, but I'm talking about even further down the road. With the release of Dark Neostorm. Sorry guys, I do not feel good at all, but I know I had to get a video out to you guys anyway nonetheless, so anyway, with that all being said, enough to talk, let's get started. Starting off, we have, at the time of uploading this video, it should be the 19th of January, which means the date of no sooner than January 21st is within 2 days. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about. And it's a good question. It's, I'm just gonna throw them on the screen over here. Gumblar Dragon and Summon Sorceress, and to some extent 86 Turbo. Everybody is wanting these cards banned, and I understand why. I understand 86, I understand Gumblar. I don't necessarily understand Summon Sorc though, because again, Firewall's not in the game to abuse it to the maximum. Now, my main concern is, I feel like people just want to hit every single good Link monster that's in the game, and that doesn't sound too great, because if you think about it, Nightmare Goblin's already banned. Regrettably so, Firewall is banned. And now people are talking about wanting to ban Gumblar and Summon Sorc. Now, the thing is, you know, let's say, you know, these bans are successful. Well, what are Link-based decks gonna have? You know, Summon Sorc is amazing for Link-based decks simply for the fact that it gets them essentially any piece they need from the deck to get what they need to get going. And that's what I like, you know. Prime example, my Chaos Thunder Dragons, or my Thunder Chaos Dragons, whatever. A lot of my combos will end up playing Summon Sorc and having a dragon pointing to Summon Sorc, and with that said Sorc, if let's say there's an Eclipse Wyvern, or a White Dragon Wyvern Buster, or a Black Dragon Collapse Serpent in the zone, I can summon another Eclipse Wyvern from the deck. Its effects are negated, but generally whatever you're summoning with Summon Sorc is going to have some sort of grave trigger. And, you know, I personally don't see anything wrong with, you know, just a special summon from the deck, as long as it, like, really all you're doing is getting one monster. That's really it. See, Firewall can get you multiple monsters onto the board just like that, but Crystal Needle Fiber and Summon Sorc can only get you one. And for some reason in the year of 2019, people still, for some reason, believe that's, like, really busted. You know, being able to summon one monster from the deck, its effects are negated. But, that's besides the point. Point is, what are Link decks supposed to have is a said win condition without Gumblar and without Summon Sorc to be able to make any sort of consistent combo. Because from the way I see it, you know, people are just wanting to kill all Link-based decks. I mean, again, you can't just hit every single good card. You can't hit every single card that's above average. You know, yes, we all know Summon Sorc does unfair things, but there's a lot of things in this game that do unfair things, and again, you have to have unfair cards to have good decks. That's just competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! 101. Without unfair cards, decks are fair, and fair decks don't do well in competitive play in terms of regional flights and YCS events and things of that matter. So that's something that needs to be thrown out in the light right now. You know, unfair cards are kind of needed to sell sets, to bolster not so good decks and all that, i.e. Spiral Double Helix. Yes, unfair cards are needed to make decks good. That is essentially it. You know, what people are trying to do is they're trying to make Link decks too fair. You already can't U-Luck without the assistance of Dangers being able to make Tomahawk. That's already, you know, so if you don't have, you know, about $140 for a playset of Nessies, well, and if you want to play a Link-based deck, or a Link Spamish kind of deck, you're out of luck. You know, because Summon Sorc is banned, and Gumblar is banned, and you have no win condition. So, again, my question to you regarding those cards is, what will be the win condition of Link-based decks and you can't say Gumblar because you banned it, and you can't say Extra Links because without dangers it's inconsistent. And, you know, you can't say Trigate because one negate doesn't do anything for 2019. I'm sorry, it's not 2014, 2015 anymore. That's not the way this metagame works. You know, you need to at least be able to put up 3 interruptions or 3 kind of negate-ish cards to have anything remotely competent going for you. That's just the reality of what we're looking at. So, enough of that. Enough of ban lists. Now let's move on to Savage Strike. Alright. Crystal Needle Fiber is still not confirmed yet. I mean, I'm a little annoyed. Simply put, what if Summon Sword does get banned because enough people whine about it, and we don't get Needle Fiber? What are Link decks supposed to do? Again, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to access what we need to access? I'm sorry that Summon Sword is generic and all that, but I mean, again, when you have Engage at 3 and Widow Anchor at 3, and you have 3 Multi-Faker that are playing Secret Village and Rivalry Warlords and all that, Summon Sword, I mean, Summon Sword seems very, very minute compared to what some of these other decks can put up regarding things like Thunder Dragons, and, you know, Brain Kids are okay. But, yeah, that's besides the point anyway. The fact that Needle Fiber still hasn't been confirmed yet is kind of a head scratcher, simply for the fact that if they were to confirm it for the set, they should have done it much earlier because it would create buzz and anticipation for the set, and it would get people excited about it. People would actually save up their resources to buy sealed product and all that stuff. It's just a good business practice. I don't even remember last year, like, how early did they reveal Electromite? They knew Electromite was going to be a big selling point, so they revealed it early. Why didn't they do it with Needle Fiber? I don't know. It'd be kind of, it'd be really questionable if they did have Needle Fiber in the set and they just decided to reveal it last minute. But that's enough of Needle Fiber. Let's talk about some of the future best decks after a ban list. One, I think Ultraguys might be the next best deck after a ban list because Thunder Dragons and Skystrikers seems to be on the very top of everybody's radar. And let's say they semi-limit Multi-Faker just to put a band-aid to it. Which personally, for me, I believe spoofing should be the one that takes a hit and not Multi-Faker, because spoofing is, you know, it's pretty ridiculous. And yeah, granted, it's unsearchable, but if you have spoofing, you guarantee you have Multi-Faker. You could say the same with Miloseek, but again, putting Multi-Faker to 2 does absolutely nothing when you still have 3 spoofing and 3 Miloseeks and things like that. Now, just imagine when we get the Salaman Great Structure deck and you get that little Link 1 that takes a normal summon monster, then what? You're going to start playing Sangan too, just to make Multi-Faker even more consistent? I mean, you don't need to get the Multi-Faker off right then and there. Yeah, you're not going to activate the effect the same turn you search it, but you're going to pass turn. And the Multi-Faker is going to be live on the next turn. Doesn't matter. I believe Ultraguys will be the best deck, also because of Pot of Indulgence. Pot of Indulgence is a pretty amazing card, I'm not gonna lie. Granted, if people weren't already playing 3 Hexia, they will play 3 Hexia just to make sure they still have 1 left in their extra deck. You know, in case they banish 2 copies with Indulgence, but they really don't draw. You know, they were playing Desires, but obviously Desires will be replaced for Indulgence because it's just so much better in a deck that doesn't draw. You know, you can still play cards like Duality and all that other mess. So it literally does nothing. All it does is just make the deck even more powerful, even more consistent. That's just my take on Ultraguys. Now, let's talk about Skystrikers real quick. What do I think may happen, and what do I think should happen? First off, they might do some slaps to engage in Widow Anchor and all that, but truth be told, if they just limit Widow Anchor, I don't care if Engage is at 3. I'm not scared of Engage, you know, when they only have 1 Widow Anchor. I'm not scared of them. Like, you know, you can have your Engages, you know, I just don't want, you know, just being able to get 3 Widow Anchors turn 1, set them all, and then end phase multi-roll them back on the opponent's turn after you flipped all 3 of them over and use a multi-roll, set them back. That's pretty ridiculous. Now, Two things that I would like to happen that would honestly check the deck is either just limit Widowmaker and that's it, or just ban multi-roll and that's it. Now, multi-roll is another card that is just, it's not even the Spellbook of Judgment effect that puts it over the top, because, yeah, being able to reset everything multiple times is pretty good. But, you know, it's even worse when you do have, you know, responses for your opponent's cards and you can't respond to them because multi-roll says you literally cannot respond to my entire deck for the entire turn. That's also pretty ridiculous. You know, not being able to respond to every single card in the archetype it's pretty dumb. But yeah, people want Summon Sorcerer's ban. But, you know, I rest my case. Anyway, enough about Skystrikers. Let's take a look at Thunder Dragons. Now, we may follow suit in the OCG and hit Gold Sark. But, I don't know. TCG is always weird with their banless hits. They might sit here and put either Thunder Dragon Roar or Thunder Dragon Dark to 1. I'm leaning more towards Dark if they do. Simply because it's the main searcher, it gets you your fusions and all that other good stuff. And or Colossus to 1, but that would kind of kill the deck a little bit. So, 1 Colossus, maybe 2 Colossus. Maybe they might semi-limit Colossus because at this point you have to make a choice between either putting up 1 Colossus and 1 Titan, because you often use Titan for Colossus, or just end on 2 Colossus so you have a choice. You know? So I feel like that would increase a little skill cap of the decision making that is required for Thunder Dragons if you semi-limited Colossus. Not completely dead, but not as, like, you know, as auto-win as just putting up Titan and 2 Colossus. You know, to making it to where I have to draw a Call by the Grave in some way to get Colossus in the grave, whether it be tributing it by Kaiju or sending it with a card like Ningirsu or something like that. You know, it's so much work you have to go through, and then, you know, there's potential Titan on the board, which means there's probably a Matrix in hand. That's a little over the top. Swords of Concealing Light can do something, however, you know, you can just activate Matrix from hand, chain Titan, blow it up. Book of Eclipse, it can be good, but if your opponent has like a set in permanence, you may not be able to kill everything on the board. So that's pretty over the top, but those are what I'm thinking might get touched. It's either Thunder Dragon Dark or Colossus or both. I'm not sure if they'll hit Gold Sark because I feel like they're really trying to push Cyberses, and Cyberses especially use Gold Sark to banish things like Balancer Lord, and you know, you could summon your, like, let's say your Lady Debug and start popping off your Sounding Rates, yada yada yada. Alright, what else do I think that people should look out for after Savage Strike comes out? Look out for any deck that can easily incorporate Pot of Indulgence in their deck. So Cosmos, Ritual decks, Nekroz, Incantation Chalice Slime is it's amazing. Love that card so much. Card is amazing. Ah, jeez. So look out for Ritual decks. Look out for Guard Dragons a little bit. Now, Guard Dragons put out some amazing boards, but as I said before, their play string can literally only move in one direction, like most of the time, and that's why I feel like they're probably going to be rogue at best, because even though their plays are really good, I feel like the deck really struggles going second because the Guard Dragon play string is so readable because, again, it can only go one direction. And that's one thing I don't like about the Guard Dragons. Again, I love the play strings. When it goes first, it's awesome. But what are you going to do when you go second against, like, multiple interruptions, you know? What if your opponent is playing Skystrikers and let's say Widowmaker goes to 2? So what? They have 2 Widowmaker set, they can literally just wait for your Elfie, the one that summons a dragon straight from the deck, and you just got stopped in your tracks, or they'll just wait until, and or if they have a second one, you can just wait for the Link 2 to summon one from the extra deck, and bam, there goes your whole combo right there. You know, because again, it's so readable because it's so linear, there's not many ways to play it out. That's the problem I have with the Guard Dragons. Now, let's see. That Phantasmal Dragon, the Maxi 2.0, I don't think if Summon Sword gets banned and Gumlar gets banned, that card's not going to see any play, unfortunately. Because again, Link decks will not have a win condition without those cards. And they will be, you know, way too hard to play, way too difficult to play. And whatever win condition that they may cook up may just be inconsistent because Summon Sork is no longer in the game. See, Needle Fiber can only summon tuners. But, you know, Summon Sork in nearly any deck can get you what you need if you're playing, you know, mostly of a similar type in your deck. But that's just my take on it. Let's see, what else is in there? I don't know, there's not too much worth noting, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and move on to Dark Neostorm. Cherubini of the Burning Abyss got confirmed. Yay. Happy. Will it change the major flaws of the deck though? No. And the reason why I say this is because unless Seer and Graph go up to semi-limited status, the deck will still lose to Called by the Grave because those key cards are still at 1 copy apiece. That is still a major issue that I have with Burning Abyss. Even though I love to play that deck, is just it loses to Called by the Grave way too hard because those cards are limited. They need to get semi'd for the deck to actually eliminate that weakness. You know, a simple DD Crow, a simple like Ghost, well, not Ghost Will, but just a simple like DD Crow or a simple Shark Cannon just shuts it down, and I hate it. I hate how that's the reality of it though. But that's enough about BA. Now, I think the last thing I want to talk about is the new Ghost Girl, No None, and Blooming Dogwood. I feel sorry for every last person that wants to play going second deck. Decks like Crusadias, Cyber Dragons, Mermails, I don't know, Chaos Dragons, Spirals, like any deck that wants to go second. It's already hard enough for those decks as is. It's already tough enough to not only be able to fight through all those interruptions, but still be able to put just over 8k damage on board. That's already difficult enough task as is. Adding No None and Blooming Dogwood literally will just make it to where they're like, I would love to play Cyber Dragons, but why would I play Cyber Dragons when my opponent can just drop No None and Blooming Dogwood and I will never be able to achieve my win condition? And a lot of these going second decks don't really, well, actually a lot of them do play Call by the Grave, but you want Call by the Grave for, like, you know, if you're, think of it, if your opponent has multiple hand traps and they drop Ash first, like, you now have to think, if I have one Call by the Grave, do I play on the Ash and risk a No None and Blooming Dogwood and just auto lose to it, or, you know, do I chance that they may not have it in play? It's just, again, No None and Blooming Dogwood, say goodbye to going second decks. Say goodbye to Cyber Dragons and Crusadias and all of those amazing decks, you know, Mermails, Chaos Dragons, say goodbye to them all. And it's really unfortunate that a card like that exists. Now, granted, it's not max seeded where you get free cards out of it. Now, in a situation, you know, regarding going second decks, I wouldn't mind my opponent getting free cards because I'm going for game. But with No None and Blooming Dogwood, that's no longer the case anymore. But anyway, if you disagree if you disagree on that point, let me know in the comments down below, and, you know, tell me why you believe No None and Blooming Dogwood doesn't just give the middle finger to going second decks. Anyway, I've took enough of you guys' time. Again, I'm not feeling too well, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short here. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are about anything I discussed down in the comments below. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe at your own risk. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.